But I know you're thinking the same thing I am. At this point, will the car start? Will the airbags deploy if I turn the key on? We're going to make a big kid's go-kart out of this. We're going to Shriner the thing together. I'm not 100% sure if this half here is going to flip backwards. Is it going to flip forward? I don't know. You have to drive this thing from the trunk. But anywho, if you ever get a chance to pull a fuel tank out of an '08 Subaru Legacy, don't. And if you're working somewhere, quit. Just don't tell them no. You're not going to do it. Phase 2, the dumbest car build on YouTube. Ta-da! Wait. Ta-da! Not only was I going to make this a convertible, but I do have other plans in mind for this thing. Getting the top off of it was just stage 1. The second phase to this little build and partaking with my parts car is coming up. So we are going to start on that next, hopefully later on this afternoon. There's going to be a lot more carnage for this poor little thing, but the end result I think is going to be pretty stupid, pretty cool, maybe a little bit of both, maybe a lot of one, not so much the other. But we'll see. I think it'll be fun. All right, let's get the interior stripped out of this thing, because that is part of the next step. I don't know if I need it or not, but we got it here just in case. So we've got, yeah, this thing's in really good shape, folks. Look at that. It's all super glued together. There's a screw in the bottom and the top of that to get the door panel off. So I think we're going to have to use brute force on this. All right, I've got the universal, I don't want to play around anymore, tool going on right here. Oh, there's so much super glue in there. And see, that's the screw that we need to get to. I'm telling you what, sometimes I think there should be an application process for super glue. So there's one screw, and then the other one is way up in there. So that gets that out. And then we're going to get our straight screwdriver. Pop that bad boy out. There's one screw hidden right in behind. Alright, now all that should be left is just a firm yank, unless they've done something different. They may have super glued the entire panel on, I don't know. Let's see here. Well, we're going to have to go to plan C. Is this excessive? Oh, I'd like to think not. Oh, God. Man, I'm telling you what, Subaru, you really got that door panel down pat, don't you? Oh, come on. Finally. Whew. Now, there we go. Sweet success. Alrighty, I think there may be something underneath here, but I don't remember. It has to nope, nothing under there. But it does have to be out of the way so the door panel can raise up. And there we have it. Just got to get our wires and stuff off. Let's see when he gets that. Some use little bit. So we've got all kinds of stuff. Let's see, we got 15, 17 cents there. Got another quarter. Got some mouse poop. Got some sort of a charger. Some pins. Adapter set. Of course, the screws we did. I'll take credit for that. Oh, we don't want to show that guy's name. And then there's lug nuts everywhere. Sounds like there's a bunch of money under there too. Alright. So, can you guys see how to unplug that seat? I mean, really. Is it there? Oh, it's like the seat is stuck to the carpet. Ugh. What is holding this thing? Holy smokes. So the airbags were already disconnected. That's good, I guess. Good grief. There's more plugs on this than there is in the entire car. Alright, we may have to do a different tactic for this. Alright, y'all. Yeah. God. I think it's got Coca-Cola or something. It has these things glued together. Because, my goodness, they do not want to come apart. So there, I mean, how much airbag stuff do you need in one seat? I mean, really. Oh. Maybe I'm just not getting it pushed out enough. Let's see if State Farm will help. It's actually the agent I use. Oh, there we go. So we got this one right here left, and it is just being stubborn. Oh. Oh. All right, finally gave up. Let's get this big behemoth out of here. All right, let's see. Well, let's see. So we got change. It's paying for itself. A bunch of change in the console. I have no idea what that computer thingy's for, but we're going to disconnect it and see if it'll start. Ooh, what a mess. It's a new day. Life happens, always gets in the way whenever I'm up to Tom Hackery. But today I want to finish stripping out the interior so that we can do stuff to it. So let's try and jump in. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a little old here. That didn't go as planned. So here's where we stand at the moment. I want to pull the carpet up, and we're going to be doing a lot of cutting in this thing. Going to have to pull most of the console out. I did notice that there is the box underneath here was for navigation. We don't need that where we're going, but there's all kinds of neat little wiring harnesses and brackets and everything else. So the goal is to actually have this thing run and drive whenever we're done hacking on it. Let's call it adjusting, when we're done adjusting on it. And I don't want to get anything that is going to keep this thing from running, or where I have to spend a lot of time figuring it out. Also, I think I'm going to have to pull the fuel tank out of this thing, because whenever we get ready to start hacking on this thing, on this particular model, it's right there and it's right there, just right under the floor, and we are going to be massaging the metal in this area. So hang tight. We'll get this thing finished gutted. We're going to get all this carpet and everything out and see what we have underneath there. Imagine that super glue. Alright, let's get something to get these crusty seatbelts out with. Brake lines, we're going to have to keep that in mind. So remember, these are part of the airbag system. That's pretty good hands with it. So be careful with these. There is a gas fill, something or other that magically is supposed to lock this in case of an accident. So it looks like we're displacing Mickey Mouse. We got straw wrappers, insulation, and all kinds of stuff that I don't know what it is. This also could have been kindling for one heck of a far. Now for the cans only. Oh yeah, this thing is in great shape. Ugh. I'm pretty sure that's how that's supposed to come on. Yeah. Alright, one piece down. Oh man, look at all the wiring and all this stuff. Holy cow. So we got screws holding screws and pieces melted together. I don't know that this is going to cause this not to run. I don't know why it wouldn't. Oh god, this thing's gross. Now what do we have here? I think the emergency brake is going to get in my way. So, well, it's 10, it's 14, or it's 12. Guess which one I don't have. Now, will we need this stuff later? I don't know. But, to be honest with you, there may not be any room for it when I'm done. Ooh. She's being stubborn, folks. Didn't want to have to do this, but desperate times call for desperate measures. That's right. That's my Craftsman Shortcut pocket knife. I don't know of anything that's more trustier than that. Why is it called shortcut? Because the blade's always dull in it and it's sure to cut your finger. That's why it's called a shortcut. Seal plates didn't come off like they were engineered to. That's okay though. We can adjust that. Now, you got a grip out of there like that outside. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I'll take it. Ugh. Now, what do we have? It's ductwork. I mean, the people in the back can freeze just as easy as the people in the front. Come on, guys. Man, what is this stuff made of? Oh. Are we gonna mess up anything important in here? I don't know. Let's just see what happens. We got a big throttle stop bolt looking thing way up underneath the dash. She looks brutal and beefy. So let's pull this. Well, I take that back. I guess I just needed the right angle to the dangle to get her removed. So now I'm facing all this wiring harness, change and cigarette butts, not buds. Not really sure what that is. So I don't know if we need it to run and drive. Being as nav stuff was underneath here, it doesn't have a yellow wire to it, so I'm pretty sure it is not airbag related. That little fella right there, however, he is. That's the main guy right there. So if you shock that guy, he's going to deploy something within the car. Now, I don't know if this car is active with the key off. Really don't want to find out. So we're going to eliminate some of this stuff. But whenever you see a yellow wire like that, it's wrapped in yellow, that's saying it's part of the supplementary restraint system. I will say it correctly for y'all, as manufacturers put it. Don't worry about heat shields. We don't need that where we're going. So I'm going to work on undoing some of Medusa's braids here and see if we can't vacuum and clean up some of this stuff, because this is just grosso. That's better. Everything loose from the floorboard. Don't want to take it out because I do want it to remain somewhat drivable. Just gonna have to be really careful that I don't get into any of this stuff. And right now I am still planning on how exactly I want to do what I am trying to accomplish. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop this lower part of the console where the shifter and stuff is. I'm gonna have to get it out of the way. It's actually gonna be in the way too. So I'm gonna pop the faceplate off, see if I can't get the sides of this bad boy off, give us just a little more room in here. But all in all, it's pretty good. And let's see what's behind door number 2. If I'm doing this wrong, feel free to comment. In the meantime, I'm just gonna start prying stuff up. The problem is there's so much sticky crap in here. I promise I'm not easily grossed out, but sometimes, man, when stuff is sticky that shouldn't be sticky, we gotta get this thing into neutral or something. Come on, get back in there. There we go. Hey, more change. So what I'm gonna do is, miles of cigarette ash and Coca-Cola sticky, because everybody knows that a Pepsi drinker wouldn't spill it because that stuff is so good. If you're anything like me, you're probably curious, with everything that's disconnected in here, will it still run? Will the airbags deploy when you turn the key on? Well, I don't want to find out about the airbags, but one of the main things is when you get that front console out, that's the main processor for the supplementary restraint system or the airbag system. But let's turn the key on. Everything is powering up. Oh, radio come on. Turn that off. Will it start? Oh yeah. Okay. So she starts, the airbag light's on, no check engine light, nothing like that. The S drive, SI drive switch, whatever that is, that was in the console, that's no longer in here. But there you have it. You can take and disconnect the entire interior and still have it run. It still goes into gear, I'm sure of it, because right now it's in neutral. But as soon as I started it, I felt the car start to lurch forward just a little bit. I do not have the parking brake in there. But that's okay, we don't need a parking brake where we're going. So we got this thing up on the lift. There's a few things I'm going to take off on the underside. So all these plastic shields, skid pans, whatever you want to call them, we're going to pull all these off. We're going to go ahead and separate the exhaust right here, take these heat shields out, pull the drive shaft out, and pull the covers for the tank off. To get all this out of the way, we're going to lower the tank out of this bad boy, because I don't want to burn my shop down, and I don't want to burn my little car down. After all this mess, I'm kind of becoming partial to it. It's growing on me like a fungus. I just want you to admire my nice exhaust I got on here. So yeah, we got one cat and that's all she had for mufflers. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good, I ain't gonna lie. For a four banger, she's ripping it. So let me It obviously wasn't designed to come off this way. What's going on, Danny? Another day. Okay, this escalated quickly. I went to pull the tank out, and this is probably one of the worst ones I've ever had to pull out. All you Subaru guys are over there saying, I told you, they're a pain to get out. I had to unbolt the rear differential frame assembly to get that thing out. Look at this monstrosity. It's got like a Quasimodo hump right there. This thing is huge, and stupid me, I didn't think to look at the gas gauge. Yeah, it was almost full. I mean, heck, had I known that, I could double my money on the car, just or at least get half my money back by selling the fuel out of it. But on the brighter side of things, everything's gutted out from underneath it. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I'm going to bolt that rear differential back up, get that snug back into place. We're going to take us some measurements, and we're going to go ahead and just take this entire car and we're going to Shriner the thing together, okay? We're going to make a big kid's go-kart out of this. All right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a street legal big kids go-kart, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, well, I can still push it around, and it'll keep the motor and the transmission in the drive for me. But anywho, if you ever get a chance to pull a fuel tank out of an 08 Subaru Legacy, don't. And if you're working somewhere, quit. quit. Just don't tell them no. You're not going to do it. So once again, I'm going to clean up this mess, regroup, maybe get a cold drink, and let's get back to it. Now we're down to the figuring and the fun stuff. I'm just going to tell you right now, we're going to cut the center out of this thing, okay? We're going to just bring it together. We're going to just narrow it down, okay? Why? Because we can. Need any more reason than that? I don't think so. We're going to take off the back doors because this section, right here, this section right here is going to disappear, and that just happens to be what the door is attached to. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these back doors off, make sure we got everything out of the way. This is the brake lines, that's the fuel lines. We got those isolated, we kind of got them up out of harm's way. What are we going to do for a fuel pump and a fuel tank? I don't know yet. There's not going to be any room for it where it was, and I sure as heck ain't going to put it back where it was. That was a pain in the butt. So we're going to cut just a small section out. We're going to be subtle, you know. It'll hardly be noticeable. So I'm going to figure out what my tool of choice is going to be. We've got a pretty good idea of where I'm going to cut it at. So let's quit yakking and let's get to it. And set these down. This will be the last time. Oh, hold on. Just yet. Anyway. All right, you bought a shop, guys. Why didn't you tell me? Check strap, get the check strap. Dummy. There we go. One door down. And now, door number 2. First cut. I hope I'm not sawing through the tail of the transmission. In there. Alright, well, I didn't want to have to do it, but I guess I'm going to have to. We're going to drag out the big guns. Hot knife out now. I'm going to go grab my helmet and get to cutting. Now we're getting somewhere. That's it. Oh yeah. Well, I think we're finally to the point of no return. It's getting exciting. I love this stuff. So this car was actually engineered to have this modification done, because there's actually a seam right here and a seam right here, and that happens to be the length that I want to take out of this rascal. And go ahead and finish my plan now that I got a better idea with all this stuff out of my way, exactly what I have to work with and where to go from here. So stick around. Tomorrow's another day. Good morning. Glad you could join us. Actually, it's probably closer to afternoon. So let me bring you in here real quick. New day. Did a little figuring. I got a cut line here, and I got a cut line here. As you can see, we're doing precise measurements today. Got to bring it in a little bit because the main structural support stuff, actually the frame rails for the unibody, are running up through here, and then it goes up over the rear differential where the rear differential mounts. So whenever I get ready to slide this bad boy together, I do want to leave as much of this brace intact because this brace sits inside and then it goes under the car and then it's back inside again. So I'm going to try to leave this in here. We're just going to, you know, just bring it back a foot or four. I am going to make a cut here. We're going to cut along the floor pan. Then we'll cut across the rocker here. And then we're going to cut across the rocker here. We're just going to scrunch it all together. So I'm going to get you all set up. I think I pretty well have a game plan on where I'm going to cut stuff. I am going to try the Sawzall again because I'm a glutton for punishment. And let's see if we can get this thing into 3 pieces, the front, the rear, and then the middle section. We're going to throw away the middle section and let's just see what it looks like. Let's see what happens. We have to drive this thing from the trunk. But if you've gotten this far, why not go a little further? Why shorten it just, I mean, I could have drove it from the back seat, but no, I'm not. If we're going to do it, let's do it. Okay, it's a parts car, we're having fun, we ain't hurt nobody. So we're going all the way to the trunk where you have to drive it. And let's just see what happens. So let me get my stuff together and let's do some more cutting. This thing is going to be into 3 pieces before we know it. So I am a glutton for punishment. I'm going to try the Sawzall again. I may get aggravated and get the plasma cutter back out. So let's see what happens. I don't think it... Ready to go ahead and make the cuts. So I'm going to be cutting right here. Whenever I pulled the outer rocker trim off, it revealed a nice square seam. So I'm going to cut it there. Then I'm going to come back here. I've actually got it marked on the inside. And then I'm going to cut it on the back. I moved it a little bit forward. Whenever we get closer to having this thing drop into 2 pieces, I'm going to then take a floor jack and get underneath here, go right underneath the transmission cross member to hold the front up. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this half here is going to flip backwards. Is it going to flip forward? I don't know. I mean, the front might be the same. The majority of the engine is, you know, in front of the axle on this car, so I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen here. I don't know if it's going to flip forward and land on its nose, or is it going to sag down in the middle and everything just kind of implode on itself. Now we're ready to go ahead and make this into a multi-piece unit. All right, cut number 1. 3 more to go. I'm pretty sure it's cut all the way off because it's offset there. We've let a little bit of the pressure off. Since it's opening up at the bottom, closing in at the top, I'm pretty sure she's going to want to lay backwards on us. I think it's through because it has claimed my Sawzall blade for its very own. So this side here, we're completely out. And if we come over here, you can look down in there. I don't know how good you can see it. There's just one little spot holding it. So we're almost there. take and let the jack down. You know what? It did open up a lot more that time. Shoot. Okay, that answers that question. The front side's going to go down and the back side's going to go up. Who knew? All right, here we go. Cut number 3. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're just about there. Oh my gosh. Let's get you in a little closer. So there's actually more in the B pillar as far as metal goes than there is in the rockers themselves. I don't know. A lot of reinforcement down there at the base of the rocker. Of course, this is the one that got KO'd. And yeah, that's major crash damage. So anyways, almost there. Got one more cut to go. All right, cut number 4. Now this is just the rockers, not including, you know, the floorboards. We made shrapnel there, so. Ooh, baby. Oh, hey, it's got a little bit of heft to it. All right, well, I don't think there's any turning back now. And here's where we stand. Hopefully, we measured it out where everything's even. We can just take and bring the back to the front and everything work out good. If not, well, it was a piece of scrap anyways. Everything's cut out. The final measurement was 45 inches total. I'm going to shorten this thing. I'm going to do a little prep work on paint and stuff where we can get a good weld to burn in on the rockers. That's going to be the main support. I do have right here, there's going to be a cross support, but that cross support's going to end up right around in here. There's already plenty of support between the wheels there. And the same thing here, there's plenty of support across through there. I just don't want this thing to kind of implode on itself. So I want to try to get really good welds in there, and then if it turns out really cool and I decide to register this thing and drive it, I'll probably go ahead and do a door bar and then do like a hoop across the back. And it's not necessarily that I'm going to do anything dumb in it, but I don't want somebody running me over while I'm driving this thing. So we'll just have to see how it turns out, see what we think, and just kind of go from there. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you have no idea how easy that thing rolls. That's incredible. Hit. Yep. afraid we scratched it. Bound to happen. Holy cripes. Jeez, that thing rolls so easy. Front down just a smidge. Like that. So, here we go. A little more. Oh, what did we hit? Oh, oh. You gonna go now? Oh, did we make it? Oh, man. We're so close. So there we go. I mean, I could probably fit 2 of these in one shot now. But that's the amount we're going to shorten it. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to drive. But, hey, look at this. This jack is leaking now. So, I'm going to go drag a welder over here. I'm going to see if I can't get a couple welds on that bad boy. And then, I don't have a fuel tank in it because the fuel tank would be up underneath the dash. So I need to get a fuel system set up on this thing where you can crank it up. She can pull herself in and out. So next step, let's see if we can't take the 2 and make them 1 again. Y'all, this is crazy how it's working out. I'm going to go ahead and kind of tack this thing together, get the jacks out from this side. I got to go to the other side, get the rocker lined up the best I can. The rockers are actually, they flared out just a little bit as you got to the rear, which is to be expected. But they actually, they worked out pretty good. I'm really surprised. It's almost like they engineered this thing to just slice 45 inches out of the middle of it. So, see what happens. And it didn't even budge. That's a good sign. So there's our gap that we're dealing with. And I'm just trying to get it maneuvered around where we can get it to line up. I'm not looking for perfect. I just need close enough. There's going to line up, but we're going to fill that in and weld it all solid. So I'm going to use this ratchet strap here, just kind of pull stuff together. I need to let it down just a hair. Oh, look at there. Dang. I'm telling you, man, it's just like this thing it just wants to be a shorty. I don't know how we could do any better than that, folks. All right, now I'm going to move to the other side and get a little more welded up on it. We've got one super short Subaru Legacy. Let me push it back a little bit more. There you go, y'all. Just take it all in. So, what's next? Well, I want to get it running again. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to be able to get my fat butt in there to drive it. So, the next project is going to be, I'm going to weld, reinforce a little bit more, get this thing there, reinforce underneath the floorboard a little more. And then I'm going to take the center part of the rear seat and we're going towards the trunk, okay? We're not going to drive it from the rear seater. We're going to be all the way in the trunk driving this thing. So I'm going to wrap it up here. The next video, hopefully I'll have the seat, we'll get the seat put back in there. We'll get this thing running again. And I'm just dying to know what it's going to be like with turning radius and acceleration, and is it going to do wheelies? Is it going to go up on its nose if you stop too hard? All the ABS is intact. Traction control, I need to hook up the S drive and a couple other things so that I don't lose the traction control and I can override it. So I got a little bit more studying to do on this thing, and I think we're going to pull it off. I think we're going to get it. So stay tuned and let's see what happens.